I went to college in Bronx, New York, not a hub of agriculture, but had kind of gardening in my periphery through my college experience back at my parents' house. I decided I wanted to go to the Peace Corps. More specifically, I decided I wanted to go to Africa upon graduation, and the Peace Corps availed me a position in forestry in the country of Lesotho. And I went there in 1996, and my first 6 months, very gung-ho about forestry, went and spoke to every villager I could, and in the course of our conversations it became clear that more food was even more pertinent than more trees. So with my little bit of agriculture, mostly on a garden scale, but my ability to at least in my mind access more resources, i.e. seeds, tools, what have you, I said, well, let's give that a go. We got some tools and we got some seeds, and we started planting. That was a real success. Well, I would say the Africa piece was, for all intents and purposes, the awakening of whatever kind of deep seed of agriculture was in my soul and psyche. My wife Jill and I, and our boy Eli, and several interns run Gaining Ground Farm. I don't come from farming background. Jill doesn't come from farming background. My nearest connection to anything agricultural was my dad's dad ran a fruit stand in Southern California for a number of years, but that's about as close as we get. Then maybe we'll lay some drip down on those. One of the major downsides of not coming from a farming background, it wasn't not what to look for in the land, it was like, how does one go about, acquiring a piece of farmland? A lot of farms, they're just, well, we've been on this land for 100 years, I don't know how you'd do it. Agronomically, I knew what I was looking for. The purchasing of the land is where the treachery reared its evil head. We went to a bank, brought our business plan, which we spent a long time developing. I brought my credentials, I sat down at the table with the banker and I said, I think I've got a really solid idea here. And he said, this looks fantastic. I mean, you really have your stuff together here. I agree, it looks great, but there's no way we're gonna lend any money to an agricultural pursuit. A little dumbfounded, I walked out of there and I came back and I told Jill, and we went and had a beer and kind of lamented. And then I started our periphery search. And as it turns out, we went back to that exact same bank I started at, and they said, we're gonna take, Mike, we're gonna take you off the loan, except in name and your credit. We're gonna take all your background of it, so there's no piece of agriculture listed. We're gonna base the loan on your wife and her off-farm income, and you're gonna basically buy yourself a country estate. He told us with no apology that, this is the only way it's gonna work if agriculture is off the map. Definitely money for land is the greatest barrier to entry, no question about it. In the world of policy, that needs to be where a lot of energy is invested in creating opportunity or availing federal state monies at a guaranteed reasonable rate to small farmers to kind of get their bearings. But right now it's usury and chaos are the two options for small farmers, and neither of those seem particularly charming. In my experience, just connect with as many farmers, old-timers, organic farmers, conventional farmers, just make as many human connections as possible, because the fruits of experience are certainly among the best guides to success. Like so many things in life, if you've got it in your heart, you can make it happen. I think we're at a real precipice in terms of both at a political level, a social level, a farming level, where there are going to be more things in place to make it possible for young farmers to get in there and do their good work. All right. It's just be diligent and grab those somewhat fleeting resources when they happen to come by.